go. Hit it again. Perfect. Sometimes you got to attack because you never know what they're gonna let through. They'll let stuff through, and then you're in business. Welcome back, everybody, to the show. I am your host, as always, Jay Villain, aka That Villain J, and tonight we have a very special treat for you. Mono Black, Everyone Dies. Oh yes, it's a very unique Mono Black deck that I think that you're really going to enjoy. And we're going to do a little something different tonight. We're going to show it to you right here. This is a Mono Black Gain and Drain, kind of a combo deck. Super, super fun to do. We're going to jump right into a game, show you how it works, and we're going to come right back for the shakedown breakdown. So watch this first, because I think you're going to need to be sold on it. Check it out. Dude basically said, yeah, you know, I've been super into Azorius, Simic, you know, Teamer, Demir, stuff like that. If you get what I'm putting down. You know what I got? You guys know what I mean? You guys get what I'm fucking saying. Let's do this. Well, thank you, man. I'm glad that you come to watch my magic. If you want to watch all the magic you can possibly handle, check out my YouTube channel. Hey, thank you for coming, Jabby. He's going to play a removal on that, I'm sure. Nice. Alright, we're going to do this. Boom. More removal, probably. Darkstar Banisher. So, let's do you. Let's do you. Let's push. Check it out now. Darkstar Banish right about now. Darkstar Banish. Takes 2 damage there. Okay. Caesarian Sussborn. Let's do this then. Let's push. I don't care if a bunch of stuff dies. As a matter of fact, I'd actually prefer if a bunch of shit fucking came out on the board. Perfect. Next turn I can Villainous Wrath him. Listen, back in the day, before Blue got corrupted, Blue used to be a go-to, man. You used to be able to run Azorius Flyers. You used to be able to run, you know, Demir, Blue Stompy. You know, there used to be a lot of stuff. But not anymore, man. The best thing that they make for Blue is card draw, and the best thing they make for Blue is card draw and the other shit. Card draw and counterspell. Like, there's no reason to run anything else. Boom, boom. There you go. There's just they've made it so that the best move you can play with blue is to make sure the other opponent doesn't play. It's the God's honest truth. Boom. 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 Enter of the refrain. Oh yeah, it is. It is very annoying. What does it do there, Kami? That's the real question. What does it do? That's going to be a win right there. Boom. Yep. All right, so I hope you got a good example of what this deck can do and how powerful it can be. Before we get down to the shakedown breakdown, I need you to do something for me, though. If you haven't already, please tenderly press that like button, gently press that subscribe button, because if you don't, you will be attacked by the like and subscribe, which you may or may not know is a YouTube werewolf who will viciously maul you and rip you apart for not liking the video and subscribing to the channel today. Join us on a stream every night at twitch.tv/thatvillainj for all live streaming goodness. We'd love to have you there live and in person on Twitch and on YouTube. Both of those places you can check us out if we go live. If you ever want to see a live streaming, hit that bell, be notified when we go live at either place, Twitch or YouTube. Get all those notifications, get on Notification Squad. Check out our Discord community for all latest news, information, post your decks, post memes, ask questions. It's all right there. And of course, this deck and all the other ones that I build are going to be available down below on my AetherHub. So if you want a copy of this one, check that out. Boom. So what are we talking about? What did you just witness with the combination play of Everyone Dies? Well, part of the reason I wanted to front load you with the game is because I didn't want to reveal the secret too quickly. What this is an Alchemy deck. Oh no. Tell you what, Alchemy is really good. If you are frustrated with Standard right now, and I know a lot of you are going, man, Standard is just, man, it's a fucking mess. It's just, I can't get in there. It's too hard. There's crazy stuff. I'm telling you, there is a lot of relief in Alchemy right now. So I want to show you this deck that only really requires 3 rares from Alchemy. The rest are going to be uncommons. I want to show you what we can do here. So first things first, removal. Tragic Trajectory, this is going to be heavy in Void and Warp. So Tragic Trajectory is going to be the main thing that we're going to run right there. -2/-2 to any target. That is going to be any kind of removal that you need. With Void as well, if you've warped or lost something, it gives a -10/-10. Very useful early and middle game removal. Now here's a new Alchemy card right here. Cantor of the Refrain. 1 black, 2/1. This creature can't block. It is a human pilot. Also, the art is sick as fuck. This is an Alchemy card, okay? But it's an uncommon, so it's not that bad to craft for you. It's not really going to hurt your wilds that too effectively there. The thing about this thing is, whenever you cast this spell for its warp cost, return this card from your graveyard to the battlefield under its owner's control. It perpetually gains +1/+0. So every time that you warp, this thing immediately returns to the board. It can be used as sacrifice fodder. It can be used for, just any kind of attacks that you know it's going to die in. Boom, because you can always warp something and bring it back. Now, if you want more Cantors of the Refrain, yeah, you of course do. You have Song of Point Prime. Another sick art. Look at that thing right there. Gorgeous. 1 black and 1 sorcery. This is another uncommon alchemy card. Again, just an uncommon, not that much of an investment. Each opponent sacrifices a creature of their choice. Conjure a creature named Cantor of the Refrain into your graveyard. So now you have another Cantor of Refrain in your graveyard. So whenever you warp, you're going to be able to pull up another Cantor of Refrain out of your graveyard. You're going to have a lot of fodder creatures, even though that they can't block. They're going to be there, and they're going to be able to sacrifice and constantly press the attack. Really, really cool stuff. Now, if we're talking about warp, we can't not talk about Timeline Cruller. The Cruller himself, 2 black, 2/2 haste. You may cast this card for your graveyard using its warp ability. It can warp from the graveyard for 1 black and 2 life. And, of course, it can just go out of your hand and warp for 2. So you have an ability right there for 1 black and 2 life to immediately swing out with aggression. Haste on black is always very powerful right there. Super good stuff, and it will resurrect all the Cantors of Refrain. Now, here's the last alchemy card that we're going to do here. I'm going to get them. We're going to give you the vegetables first. This is the one that I do probably say that you should invest in because it's a really good card. We're only going to put 3 rares from alchemy in here. 1 black, 2 black, and 1. However, 3/3 human soldier with haste. However, it does have the warp ability of 1 black and 1 right there. Human soldier. Whenever this creature attacks, conjure a card named Cantor of the Refrain in your graveyard. Do you see what we're doing here? We are filling our graveyard with Cantors of the Refrain. We are absolutely loading down our graveyard with Cantors of the Refrain. So anytime anybody warps, we can resurrect a bunch of cards. Why would we want that bunch of cards? For sacrifice plays and for fodder purposes. Okay? To constantly be pressuring down. On our opponents right there. Especially with that haste right there. Timeline Caller hasting on 1, Void Caller Devotee on 2. You're really putting a lot of pressure down on your opponent very quickly. So that is all of the alchemy that you need for this deck. That is it. Okay? Just those 2 uncommons, just those 2 uncommon cards, and this 1 rare card. I'm trying to take it easy on you for all you new people on coming into alchemy. I want you to say, hey, listen, if you're saying, man, Standard is a mess right now, Alchemy is the place to go to feel a little better about it, okay? Now, the rest of it's going to be stuff that you know. We're going to go with 4 Sephiroth Fabled Soldiers, all right? We love Sephiroth. 1 black and 2, 3/3. Whenever Sephiroth enters or attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, draw a card. Whenever another creature dies, target opponent lose 1 life and you gain 1 life. If this is the 4th time this ability has resolved, transform Sephiroth. Super, super cool right there. Rare that we get to transform him, but the fact that anytime anything dies, you get pings of gain and drain right there is super good. What I like to do is I like to sacrifice Cantor of Refrain or Timeline Color, because Timeline Color can be played from the graveyard, and Cantor of the Refrains all resurrect themselves anytime anything warps. So you have a lot of card draw and ping for gain and drain stuff right there. Next, you've got the Caesarian Susborn right here. 1 black and 2, but however, we have a 1 black warp ability, 2/2. Whenever this creature or another creature or artifact you control dies, target opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. So that is interesting right there. So now you're getting the gain and drain effect for pretty cheap. Let's say you're attacking on a big turn. You could warp 1 or 2 of these in, and knowing how many creatures of yours is going to die, you can actually affect a lot of damage that way. It's a cheap warp ability to resurrect all your canners, and a great supplement for the gain and drain hit right there. The last 2 are the Spider-Man cards. I like the House That Grows Hungry in this one. Destroy target creature. Each player may discard a card for 1 black and 2. We initially destroy a creature. Not bad. Now we go through the Black All-Stars right here. Each player may discard a card. I don't mind discarding a card. If they don't, they lose 3 life. The thing is, if we discard Cantor of the Refrain or Timeline Caller, of course we can replay them. We can also discard Scrivix the Augmenter and play that from the graveyard as well. So we have a lot of options to discard that are not going to hurt us that much. Then, of course, we exile any number of players' graveyards for all those anti-reanimator. We don't have to do ourselves. We can just do our opponent. So super good card right there. And of course, Skrivix the Augmenter actually came in super handy lately, man. 1 black, we don't have to cast you for blue, it's just completely black. 1 black and 2/4, kind of a sleeper card. Whenever this creature deals damage to combat damage to a player, look at that many cards off the top. So if you just do 2 damage, you look at 2 cards, 1 in your hand, the rest in your graveyard. So you get to dump away a bunch of other stuff. Again, if you know it's stuff you can play from the graveyard or stuff you don't want, it's not a big deal. You could also, if this thing ends up in the graveyard, meaning if it dies, the symbiote part of it goes away, you exile the card from your graveyard from 1 black and do and attach it, give somebody +1/+1 and the other abilities. So you could attach this as Sephiroth, and if he does 4 damage to your opponent, guess what? You get to draw 4 cards and the rest go in your graveyard. So you start really having to get some really good draws there and filling up your graveyard potentially with a lot of options for you. So I really like 2 Skrivix the Augmenters on there. It actually pairs really well. I'll tell you what I like it with. Skrivix and Elegy Acolyte, super good. Because this card, I call it Replacement Sheldred, 2 black and 2 4/4 lifelink human cleric. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you draw a card and lose 1 life. So if you hit with Skrivix and you have Elegy Acolyte out, you actually get to draw 2 cards off the top. You're going to get 2 cards for any time you're damaging your opponent, which is super, super useful. Very, very good stuff right there. The other thing that she has there, not only that, does she let you draw cards and is a 4/4 lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, if a non-land permanent left the battlefield this turn, so if anything dies, or if a creature was warped in, guess what? You get a warp robot right there. You get a 2/2 robot, which is great for blocking, fodder purposes, and everything like that. Great for sacrificing with Sephiroth because you have a perpetual sacrifice ingrained. So if anything dies, Sephiroth kills something, you're going to warp in another robot, so you can just keep feeding robots to Sephiroth. Crazy thing to say, but it's a true thing to say. So that is what we like right there. Super good combination play, and just a solid card all around to keep the flow of cards in your hand. Now we're going to finish it off with Villainous Wrath. This is where I say everybody dies. This card has won me multiple games. You're saying, Jay, not everyone dies in this deck. There's, a lot of people seem like it'll live. Nope, everyone dies. The reason that I like Villainous Wrath is 2 black and 3. This is a board wipe. Now, I don't normally like board wipes, but I like the first effect of it. Target opponent loses life equal to the number of creatures they control, then destroy all creatures. This will kill your opponent. If you have Sephiroth and Caesarian Sussborn down on the board, guess what's going to happen? Especially if you have a wide board, they have 3 or 4 creatures, they're going to lose 3 or 4 life, then immediately everything dies. Guess what? Anytime anything else dies, your opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life, and anything that we control dies, our opponent loses 1 and gains 1. So we can rip somebody down if there's a pretty big board. If they have a lot of creatures and we have a lot of creatures with Sephiroth out, we could just rip them. We could just do Villainous Wrath, you take 5 damage, and then we're going to gain and drain you for 10. You can absolutely just explode everyone, and then just the game is over. So I really like that stuff right there, guys. I like board wipes with a purpose. I like board wipes for an endgame. Not to control the game, to end the game. I'm not trying to delay things. I'm trying to finish things. And that's what Villainous Wrath does right there. 23 lands with 1 Demolition Field. Demolition Field's very useful for destroying those stupid planets that make Kona Omni work. Very useful card to have when you need it. We're going to look right here. This is an Alchemy deck. 25 creatures, mostly humans and soldiers. From avatars to warlocks, vampires, symbiotes. 9 sorceries, 2 enchantments, 24 lands. All black with that blue is not really necessary, but 2.4 average, 2.6 average of 24. That is what we're looking at right there. Beautiful stuff. Some of the sideboard options for my best of 3 guys. Hilderblade is not bad for warp. It does have the ability at the beginning of your end step, if you warped or avoided this turn, you get to attach a 3/1, which is nice. Aggressive Symbiosis is not a bad card to discard and recast it from the graveyard. Nowhere to Run is good removal along with Strategic Betrayal in case you need it. Sunset Saboteur, there could be an argument for putting Sunset Saboteur in this deck as well. That could be a solid choice for 2 drops in case you want to do that. Arch Enemy's Charm for that Exile or that Reanimator. Gravatic Herald is another Alchemy card, I certainly don't think you need this. However, if you are already invested in Alchemy, Gravetic Herald is a good swap in. You absolutely do not need to play it if you don't want to invest that much in Alchemy. You can just go what you have on here. The only one that you really need is Void Color Devotee, Song of Point Pride, and Canter Reframe. Those are going to be essential, but it is not that much of an investment to get away from the nightmarish queue that is standard right now. We're going to try Alchemy Ranked. Everyone dies. You've already seen one game. Let's get back to the action. Here we go. Your characters in the game should be able to use magic. Hey, how you doing? How you doing, Drifty Ronin? Spider-Man can't use magic. He uses technology. Nobody in Star Trek uses magic. Nobody really in TMNT uses magic. That's debatable if they use key power or whatever. I know there are people who are going to correct me on that, but nobody does magic or summons things. I'll tell you what, in Final Fantasy, people do magic and summon shit constantly. It is one of the most popular things to do, is do magic and summon things. Okay? You know, it's pretty wild. Let's do this. Boom. Boom. My man kept the 1-drop. Yeah, my man kept the 1-drop. Sorry, bro. Broseph Stalin. Bro-tato chip. From this set. And I think that would have been perfectly fine. But I think it's weird that it is its own thing. I think it's odd. No, that's just my opinion. I'm just some asshole, you know? Caesarian Sussborn will go in. He's holding up priority. Okay, that wasn't really necessary, but sure. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna go in for 2. Boom. How much do you want to say he's gonna counterspell? Let's see. Yeah, he's holding priority here. Yeah, the Godzilla cards that, hey, this is the big monster plane. This is the big monster plane, so if you want to run a big monster as Godzilla, here you go. And here's some other cards that are Godzilla themed. I think that would have been, everyone would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, I understand that. That makes, you know, that kind of makes sense. I think the issue comes in with, like I said, with the full set. You have to build and draft and make everything this now, and it's like, well, oh, I don't want to do that, and then it's like, well, you have to, you know. So I don't know. We'll see, man. I don't think anyone would complain if they said, hey, do you like Star Trek? Do you wish that some of these ships could be famous ships of the past? Well, check out this thing. It's going to be real snazzy. I think that nobody would have really cared that much. I just don't see anybody. I don't see anybody caring if that was the case. Pyro Spider, how you doing? Warhammer, man, I wish they do a full Warhammer, bro. I'd wish they did the full thing, bro. Let me tell you, Broseph. Bro-tato chip. I'd love a full Warhammer. What's he gonna jump the gun on here? Stock up. Warhammer absolutely fits. Hopefully we'll get like an Age of Sigmar. That would actually be sick because that has a lot of cool stuff in it. It has vampires, zombies. You know, do you know how much fun it would be to run a vampire quartz deck? Like, that would be sick. That's absolutely something that fits thematically. Let's discard Scrivix the Augmenter. Actually, you know, let's get rid of Sephiroth. That's very true. Yeah. You could have made that space station. Hell, you could have made Deep Space. You could have made Deep Space Nine. That fucking big space station. Do you know what I mean? The all color space station, because Deep Space Nine had literally everybody there. You know what I mean? You could have done so much interesting stuff, you know? Corey Steel Cutter. But yeah, there's some good ones that fit. There's some good ones that fit. And again, I think we're bang on when we say that it wasn't. You could have probably have a very successful Star Trek run there, but I think that they weren't going to probably make as much money if they did a full set. So probably would have been better as a universes, but I'm just some asshole, you know. What do I know? What do I know? Oof. 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 Push. This is Alchemy. Yeah, or a Borg cube. Yeah, Entropic Cruiser could have been a Borg cube. That's 100%. Yeah. You could have done a lot. You could have done famous planets. One of the Kavu could have been the Gorn. You know, the Gorn monster that fought fucking Kirk. You know, you could have done Captain Sammy as Kirk. I don't know. I feel like we're kind of onto something there, but, you know, I suppose it is, we got what we got, and that's that. That's going to kill him. Ping. There you go. Nah, I don't really fuck with Pioneer too much. I don't fuck with Pioneer that much. Want to hear about it? There is an 1.5-hour podcast tomorrow about Universes Beyond. Of what can be done right, what can be done wrong, where do we think it's going, how is Wizards handling it, what effect is it having on Legacy, is it slop, is it not slop, what is it? You are not gonna. This is an extra stuffed podcast of all kind of stuff tomorrow. You're really gonna enjoy it. I'm very happy with how it came out. After we re-recorded it, me and Numbskull were like, this is some good stuff right here, man. I'm glad we talked about this. We felt better about the future. Yeah, they could have done collector's boosters, Death. Yeah, no, we felt good. So I really am gonna hype up this podcast and say it's a really good one, man. I'm all in on it. Let's see here if he's going to have the counter spell. Probably does. Probably has that dragon counter spell. The one that... Oh, no, he doesn't. What do we got here? He's going to do something to it. Boom. Yeah, and I heavily encourage debate. We're going to have a live premiere, meaning that me and Numbskull are going to be there. We're going to be in the chat, and I want to hear comments. I want to hear hot takes. I want to hear everything. We want to go for it. We want to see what y'all think for real. So tomorrow is the last word, so to speak, on whatchamacallit, on Universes Beyond. We are going to get into it. Hey, thank you so much, ADHD Donuts. Trigger. The Halo remake, I mean, Halo is getting long in the tooth. I think it is a way of getting a lot of other people into Halo again. It looks good. Master Chief Collection was, not great. I wish that Xbox would do other stuff and make new games. But, Halo's a great game. It's one of the best games ever made. I don't think it's... Tomorrow's probably 4... It's going to be 4 o'clock. It's going to be 4 o'clock tomorrow.
Out of my way.
Create a blue otter.
Together we can shift.
So we're going to do... Tragic. We're going to go in. Boom. Pop. We also asked the council beforehand. We had a couple of people in Discord, in the Black Council Discord, give us their hot takes, and we had a couple ideas. People had ideas, they had opinions, and I'm looking for hot takes, mans. I want to hear both sides. I want to hear some Universes Beyond defense too. I don't want it to be always a hate train. I actually don't mind some, but I think they have to do. I think they have to absolutely do it right. I think that's the biggest issue, is that people, they just. I think that people they need to be selective about. We'll get into it. Don't worry. Don't worry. We'll get into it. Should we kill Ral? Let's kill Ral.
This is an unexpected outcome.
I know Halo is an Apple exclusive. Then Microsoft said, "You know what? Fuck you, Apple. Buy this. We're gonna. How about we take it for ourselves, huh?" I think they'll add multiplayer. You can play 4-player co-op in the main campaign, which sounds fun. Gaia's Blessing would actually really be useful in Standard right now, yeah. Or any card that said, whenever this card goes in your graveyard, put it back into your deck. That would just make mill decks. It would really fuck with mill decks. You wouldn't need it all the time, but when it's I call them condom cards. You'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it, Hey, Lightning, how you doing? When there's lightning, broo-doo-doo-doo. Yes, I think that's pretty much a lot of people's opinions on it, Irvin. I think if we heave close to the original aesthetic and IP, I think most people are not really going to have too much of a problem. Pop. Okay. Do we even have Felden's Cane right now? Pop. Hey, what's up, Studio? Do this. Pop. Thalia. Okay, he's doing that. Pop. Okay. Alright, what's he running? Does Final Fantasy Elixir do that? I didn't know that. Ooh, Gigas the Great Armorer. Gonna do that. Alright. I think this guy's dead. I've got the distinct feeling that this guy is dead. Yep, he is. I gotta start main decking Elixir, man. Yeah, that's true. This deck is a 72% on the play, by the way. Ooh, blue. Right, blue out the gate. Okay. Thalia would have been good in Foundations. Yeah, that would have been a good Foundations choice. Into the Flood Maw. And no, he said no. GB Thundal said no thank you. No thanks, bro. Oh man, should we keep the one? Should we keep the 1 mana? No, we can't live that dangerously, guys. All right, we'll do that. Let's do mechanical there. Let's do this. Bad news for Crystal Barricade. Darksteel Colossus. Now you're talking my net language. Now you're fucking. Now you're thinking with portals. Boom. What are we bringing in? Inspiring Offspring. Do this. Caesarian Sussborn. Boom. Boom. Mutavault. Intimidating Overseer. No sign of the morning coming. You've been left on your own like a rainbow in the dark. Trigger. Cooked. Jack Bum. Jack Bum, are you a corporal? Are you a PFC, a specialist? I know you're not a sergeant because you talked about other sergeants coming by. Are you a PFC? Angels are good. Kami angels are good. They're not bad. Elixir in the root stack would be pretty cool. Yeah, that's true. Ah, PFC. I did catch it. Well, I guess I did list everything under fucking sergeant, so. Listen, man. Alchemy is this is a pleasure. I'm actually enjoying myself and not angry all the time. This has been a pleasure cruise, man. This has really been a pleasure cruise for me. I'll be honest with you. Push him in. Oof. Let's do this. Okay, 2 drop. No, we got nothing. Timeline crawler. Boom. I'd love to get another mana here in a second. Yeah, compared to standard, we had one really bad alchemy experience, and that's it, where somebody ramped to an insane thing. But that's all. There are a few extra bonus cards, and rotation happens, so it's slightly different. Treasure Cruise. Oh yeah, is that Treasure Cruise banned, by the way? I can never remember. Wow, look at that. Boom. Momentum breaker. Wow, this guy's really inventing this guy's really investing in momentum breaker. I think he owns stock in Momentum Breaker Industries, LLC. He may actually own some stock in this company here. Otherwise, I don't see any other reason why this would happen. I'm not going to be super silly. Let's leave it. Monolith. Interesting. Okay. Gains 2 life there. That's 10. Let's do this. So if he wipes me, he would have to exile me. If he wipes me, he just dies. Monoist Graveliner. Yeah, Gravliner was not as good. It's a little slower than I want to do. It's a little slower than I want to run out. I think this guy knows that he's cooked. I think he knows he's cocinado. ¿Tú eres cocinado, amigo? Creo que tú eres cocinado. Vienes. There we go. Cooked. Aaron Balake. We'll give you one game of this just for funsies, because I know a lot of people just arrived, so I don't want to leave you out in the cold too much. Aaron Balake. Let's do this. Push. Creature. Boom. Wumping Humpus. Yeah, are you looking forward to Avatar, Dirt Nymph? Or are you not feeling that either? I feel like Avatar is going to be good. I feel like Lorwyn is going to be the biggest set of the season. That's what I think. He's going to trade, which is fine because I can warp in Caesarian Susboard and get 2 of them back. Really? Well, I actually just put up my podcast. Talking about Universes Beyond. How we feel about it, the good, bad, and the ugly. If anybody hasn't seen it yet, there it is. You're not feeling any of them. Wow. Okay. I can feel that. I feel that. Yeah, the lands are an odd choice. The lands were a stranger in a strange land, I think. I don't know what exactly was going on with the lands, but they look a little odd. Yeah, Final Fantasy was a good hit. Lord of the Rings was, but I think Spider-Man was the first time we really had a hard flop. I don't know. I just don't want to look at drippy cheese when I look at my lands, man. It's just a weird thing to look at. I don't know. Maybe it's me. Draw a card. I need a mana right here is what I need. Hey, look at that. I got one. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. Can't hear the refrain. Okay. I am worried about that. The next set, TMNT, I'm worried that won't do well, and I'm also worried that Superheroes isn't going to do well. I think Hobbit will do fine. I don't think it'll do any numbers like Lord of the Rings, but I think it'll do fine. But yeah, it is a bit disconcerting, I suppose. Well, like I've said multiple times, superheroes are fantastical. They are not magical. You get me? They are fantastical elements. They are not magical elements. I think that if magic sticks to magical things, I think we're going to be okay. Otherwise, I think we're going to be in deep shit. This dude had fucking 80 million Flood Maws. Fantastic. Good stuff. Turtles, again, they're fantastical. They are not magical. Zaladin of Wind. Okay, so you're going to do that. Each opponent discards a card. The ones who don't lose a life. Boom. Boom. I think they're locked in with pretty much what they have, but I think they need to be more selective with what they do with what they do with their IPs. I think they need to be a little bit more selective, to be perfectly honest with you. That's what needs to happen. They need to say, hey, this one isn't working. We need something else. You know. I think that's going to be the biggest deal. I think there are smart moves that can be made. I think 100% there are smart, clever sets that can be done. But I think that they've got to be tactical with them. I think if you're not tactical with them, then, you know, you risk it. I think it can be done. 100% I think it can be done. We saw Final Fantasy do great, but I think because, again, that's a magical environment that we're in. We're not in this weird fucking situation. We're gonna do that. Watch this guy. He's gonna get fucking steamrolled. He felt real good about himself for a while here. He's gonna get pushed. He's gonna get fucking pressed. Fucking pressed, my man. Oh, we're gonna flip him. Here we go, one-winged angel. Do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do, do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Very nice. Very nice. Now, I'm kind of pissed that I beat number 1635, and I don't get to be number 1635. That kind of sucks for me. I feel like it should be a little different. Listen, I like Zaladin. I want to come off as that I hate it. There are Universes Beyond. I loved Final Fantasy. I thought Lord of the Rings was really good. Spider-Man isn't, and I'm very nervous about the upcoming sets. Zaladin, I want you to watch my podcast. It's right up there. It's the pinned comment right there. It explains how I feel about it in detail, because I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. I actually think they can do it right, and I think they can do a good job, but I think that there's problems with it. And I feel like if it's me, I have to point out the problems, because I love this game and I want it to succeed. So, you know, that's my thing. I'd love to go first one of these days. Lots of small creatures with Cosmogrand. I already did that one, basically, didn't I? I did the double spell Cosmogrand experience, and it was really good. I liked it. Fuel Tank Feaster. Guess where you're going, Fuel Tank Feaster. Bango. Fenrir. Okay, we're gonna do you. Boom. Yeah, Cosmogran's a really good card. It basically, if you cast your second spell, you get ooh, Mightform Harvester. Not bad. Not bad at all. We do need a little bit of removal here. Elegy Acolyte. Boom. Going for both. I don't think he can resist killing one. Boom, boom. Excellent. Draw a card and create a fucking robot. Fountain Cleric. Fuel Tank Feaster. Not bad at all. I know, he couldn't resist, man. He couldn't resist blocking a little bit there. Couldn't help it. He had to do it. Ooh, the Great Worm. Oh, nice. Okay, so let's do Cantor of the Refrain. Do I want to push him though? We'll push one. Fuck it. You know what? Let's push heavier here. Let's see what happens. There you go. Did it again. Perfect. Sometimes you got to attack because you never know what they're gonna let through. They'll let stuff through, and then you're in business. You know what I mean? Little rocky start. This is the one that blew us out. They blew us out. We started getting it, but once we got to about here, that's where things took off. Currently at a 70% overall. This is Mythic. So I think if you're running a 75% on the play in Mythic, 70% overall, I think you're fine. I think you're okay, man. I think you're doing good for yourself. That's pretty good. Realistically. Yeah, I like it. It's a fucking good. It's a good. Listen, it's a really good deck, guys. It really tightens up my previous one. Adds a couple of surprises in that I don't think that people realize that you can add. Decent amount of discard, sacrifice, and yeah, I mean, just good card draw, death, gain and drain, aggression, everything you could possibly want. Everything you possibly want. Everyone dies. That's the important thing to remember. Everyone dies.